The podcast you're about to watch was filmed on Tuesday of last week, and it was with me, obviously, the host, and a guy called WTM Jacob. He's from Georgia, America, and we spoke about content creation, God, religion, the US presidency, loads of things, and it was one of my best podcasts and best conversations I've had to date. I usually do like a kind of intro at the start of the video, and for this one, I'm here in front of the camera pretty much saying this is one of the best podcasts I've done. I've taken great inspiration from Jacob's work. The content Jacob is creating at the moment, he's pretty much vlogging for 1,000 days straight. He's on 300 and something at the moment, and I've taken inspiration from that, and I am now vlogging every single day. It's going to be on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm doing it every day until I reach 10,000 followers on both platforms. So if you want to support that, you know where to go. I'll leave the links to my TikTok and my Instagram in the description. But please enjoy the video. I appreciate it.
Hello, welcome back again to the Will Miles podcast. Today, we've got a very special guest on from Georgia, USA, WTM Jacob. Introduce yourself to the channel.
Yeah, so WTM Jacob. I post vlogs, daily vlogs. I'm currently going through a little challenge. It's a 1,000-day vlog challenge. Basically, every single day, I'm posting a vlog about what I did that day, and I do a little voiceover, go over what I did. And yeah, I've been doing this for almost a year now. I think less than 30 days, it'll be a year. So I'm looking forward to passing that. And yeah, that's me. I'm 18 years old, trying to see what God wants for me in life.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Well, the first thing I was surprised about is that you're actually younger than me. I'm 19.
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason, I thought you were, I don't know, I thought you were 24, 25, something like that.
Yeah, a lot of people think that I'm a lot older. And
Yeah.
I've got that question a lot. People like,
Yeah.
wait, you're only 18? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm only 18. I'm struggling just the same as you. I'm just trying to get through it.
I think that's probably because, you are going for things and putting yourself out there. And like you mentioned that obviously you're not going to college, which seems to be, I'm from the UK. I think the school program's a lot different over here, but
Yeah.
it seems to be quite a big thing that everyone kind of goes to college. And obviously you've made the decision not to go. Talk me through that. Because I'm the same. I left school at 15. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't say I left that early. You're ahead of me on that. But yeah, college is definitely a big thing that people expect for you in the United States. It's that thing that everybody goes to get a job, to get a career, to keep going in life.
Yeah.
So me not going to college, that is my personal decision because I don't want a job. I've had plenty of jobs in the past, and they're not for me. I really cannot stand being told what to do, being essentially commanded, like, hey, go do this, being directed. I want to be my own boss and my own director. So so for us, we go to high school and 4 years. So around halfway through high school, actually, I was freshman. Then I moved to a public school, my first public school. I'd been private my entire life, and praise my parents for that. And then I went to public school for the first time, hated it. And that was the first time that I really started going into like drop shipping and learning about like all that online money stuff. Because before then, it wasn't a thing to me. But I really researched it in my sophomore year. Started making a little bit of money online, and then I talked to my parents and I was like, hey, listen, I don't want to go back to actual school. Is there any alternatives we can do? And my mom very graciously did some research, and she found this online school that I could do. And I was also able to make some money online, work at my shops and stores at the same time. So I did that for my junior and senior year. And then by the time that ended, I was like, all right, this is complete BS. I don't want to go to a college. I don't want to waste 2 or 4 years studying something that I don't want to do. So talked to my parents. I was like, hey, listen, you see me. I'm dedicated. I'm a hard worker. This is my own personal decision. Do you support this? They're like, yeah. So I decided not to go to college, and yeah, around that time, I'd started making the daily videos. So here we are now, and we'll see where God takes me.
Sounds good. So your daily life, what does it entail? Obviously, we see that kind of, in your, that is your USP is your life, and just documenting it every single day. But obviously, vlogs are only a small portion of that. And what does your life look like from the moment you wake up? You've got to make your content. You've got to start thinking about ideas. I know from personal experience, it's hard to vlog every single day. Even when I went traveling around Europe and all stuff like that, it's hard to get up, find things, film things, make it interesting, find things to talk about. It's like being a radio host or a TV presenter or anything like that. You've just got to keep talking and keep thinking of things. So what does your life look like? Do you plan it out, or are you quite random with it and just let it kind of unfold?
Yeah, so I guess to fully answer that question, I would need to go back to when I first started. So the reason I started doing the daily vlogs was I was specifically trying to find a way to be productive every single day
Yeah.
without changing anything that I was doing.
Right.
So after doing some research, I found the daily vlogs. I saw some other people doing it. I was like, oh, that's a good idea because all I have to do is just take out my phone and record what I do. So to answer your question, my days aren't structured in the way of, okay, what content can I record or what can I do to make the content?
Yeah.
All I do is I just wake up and, sometimes I'll be up for like an hour before I start recording. I'll hop back in bed and then I'll make it look like I just got up. But a lot of the time, it's as soon as I get up, grab my phone, scroll, get through all my notifications, and then I'll start recording everything. I'll do the hand thing, like waking up, stretching, or sometimes I'll put it on my ceiling fan and I'll get that POV shot of me laying in bed.
Oh, is that on a fan? Is that?
Yeah. It's you can't see it, but it's up there.
I wondered if you
were
like
asking
sellotape
about
to
that,
the roof or something like that.
Yeah, no. It's not too high, but yeah, I just stand in my chair and put it up there. But yeah, my days aren't like structured. Recently, I have been I made this Notion calendar and I've been writing down what I want to do, but it's not for content. It's more of just my other online ventures that I work on and trying to get through everything because I don't record a lot of the stuff that I work on.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I just like the privacy, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, my days aren't structured. I know for a fact when I'm home alone, I record a lot more content just because I know I won't have as much to edit with.
Yeah.
And then when I go out, when I know I'm seeing friends, I don't get as much content because by the time the day's over, I have so much. It's all done. But yeah, there's no structure to it.
Yeah. It seemed sort of obviously it was the daily vlogs and stuff that interested me in that when it came up on my feed, and that's why I reached out to you and wanted to get you on because I feel like it really your video. I don't know if anyone else has said this, but your daily vlogs really kind of encaptures that. The kind of American movies like from the 90s that I can't. It really reminded me of that. It reminded me of I can't think off the top of my head what movies and what kind of. Go on.
Outer Banks. I took a lot of inspiration from the voiceovers that have you heard of Outer Banks?
No, I've not, but I know what you mean.
Okay. So Outer Banks, it's this American TV show. They're kids, they're basically how do I describe this? They're living life, It's kind of that American style. And I took a lot of inspiration from that TV show on how I wanted to do my voiceovers and the sort of filters I wanted to use and just the style. Yeah. But realistically, that is my life. Like that American life. Yeah. I do go out a lot. And over the summer specifically, I'll hang out with friends all the time. But the reason I can do that is because I'm making money online. Yeah. Like everybody was asking, oh, what's your job? Oh, daddy's money. It's like, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, no, it's me. I did all this work beforehand. Now I'm recording the videos. Over the summer, I was still making money, but not as much as I was before. But that was because I was out every day. But I'd kind of set up a structure where sales would come in or jobs would be landed. And it was kind of just in the background. So I was able to still make money and have fun. But yeah, it is that American lifestyle that a lot of people see and they like.
I've seen it. And I mean, you might have seen it, you might not. But that just doesn't happen in the UK. That way of life just doesn't it's just not a thing. No one get like I saw your video the other day when you went out and you just trekked through some woods and found somewhere to go cliff jumping, and then I don't know
Yes.
if it's because it's a lot bigger America or there's a lot more things going on. I mean, if I was out my house now, it's just some street and then like a cold lake up the road. Like you couldn't do it in England. But
Yeah.
so you're going out, obviously you've got who is it usually? Because I recognise there's familiar people in your vlogs. Who
Yep.
are you usually including? Who is everyone? Are you just your friends or family members?
No, no family members. Uh, the friends that I have in my videos, let's see. I used to be shy. So recently, over the past like 4 years or so, I've gotten out of that shyness and I
Yeah,
kind of went ham on making friends and whatnot. And I've become very energetic, very I'm just good at gathering people.
yeah,
So the friends that you see, I have a bunch, and I'm not trying to brag, but it's
yeah,
like anybody who's available, I'll just hit up and be like,
yeah,
hey, you want to do something? And most people are available. So the typical people you'll see would probably be Odin, the shorter Asian guy.
yeah.
There's Nina. She's my French friend. She's also short, but she's chill. Let's see. There's Olivia, the tall blonde one. The let's see, the super tall one. That's Olivia's brother. And yeah, there's a bunch of people. I can't name them all, but yeah, I've been blessed to be able to have this energetic energy that
Yeah,
goes around, and I'm able to kind of capture people and bring them into my group. And I just let them know, like, hey, listen, I do vlogs, so you're going to be on camera a lot. If you don't
yeah.
want to, just let me know, and I won't record you as much. But yeah, it's everybody's chill with it. They like what I do.
So how does it compare then? Because I presume they're in kind of normalish kind of or jobs or at college or stuff like that. How does your life compare to theirs?
Yeah. So, well, okay, here's the thing. I have friends who are in college and in high school.
Yeah,
And the high school friends, they're juniors and seniors.
yeah,
And a lot of people were surprised by that, but I'm only 18. So,
yeah,
yeah, a lot of people thought I was older. But the high school friends, it's easy for them because weekends they're free. And then after school, sometimes they're free. But over the summer, everybody was free. So the videos that you were probably watching over the summer,
yeah,
doesn't matter if you were in college, high school, or
yeah,
jobless, had a job, doesn't matter. Everybody was free.
yeah,
So now that everybody's in school, kind of is just the weekends where I hang out with people a lot.
yeah,
But yeah, most people are free. The colleges that people go to, it's all around here,
yeah,
no more than like 40 minutes away. And Connor, the super tall one, I'm not sure if you've seen him before in the videos, but he's out of high school, or he's finishing college, I believe, right now. But he has an online job. A couple of my other friends, they have online jobs. Some of them have jobs in person, but typically not the weekends. And a couple of my friends actually do the online stuff as well, and they
yeah,
make content, and uh, they're way bigger than I am.
yeah,
So they're making a living, I guess, online. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm blessed to have this friend group who's always available, always ready to hang out.
yeah. So did you always want this kind of unusual kind of life? Did you ever kind of consider going down the normal route, or were you always striving for something different and something better?
Sorry, my throat's
No, it's
dry.
not.
Yeah, so I didn't want a normal job. I'm trying to think back because I have a specific goal and dream in mind. I want to have that location and time freedom and
Yeah,
to have endless work that I can just do on a laptop.
yeah,
And I'm kind of getting to that point. But no, my dream before, I don't know if I had an exact dream. It was just I don't like being controlled.
yeah.
I'm a little rebellious, so it may have stemmed from that. But yeah, I really didn't like people telling me what I could and couldn't do, or to be here at this time and to do
Yeah.
this. Yeah, not
But
really.
I think that's very much from. I mean, you live in America. You can and I don't. But I feel like a lot more than the UK. It is like you said, really really expected to live that kind of structured life. How do you obviously said that your mum. You spoke to your mum about it, whatever. But the rest of your family and people around you, how did they react when you started to kind of veer off the track that everyone thinks you should stay on?
I mean, they don't care. My whole family is supportive of me. They see what I'm doing. Most of my family, they don't live in Georgia where I
Yeah.
live, so I don't see them very often. But from what I can tell you, I think they're all doing the traditional go to college and get a job.
Yeah.
But that's also the norm, right? A lot of people, they're taught like, okay, well, I have to go to college and then I'll get a good paying job. I'll work my way up the corporate ladder.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a good idea. If you aren't good at managing yourself or you don't think you'll be disciplined enough to
Yeah.
wake up every day and get the stuff done that you need to get done. But I know myself. I know that I'm very capable of keeping myself accountable. And so the idea that, oh, I'm not following the traditional norm doesn't really scare me. Originally, when I first started that idea of like, okay, I'm not going to go to college, not going to worry about that, I was like, well, if it all fails, I'll just go to the military.
Yeah.
Although now I don't think so after seeing the political state of America and all the stuff that
Yeah.
we're supporting.
Yeah.
But
Well,
my
yeah,
dogs
we'll
say
get
hi.
into politics in a minute because that was something I wanted to touch on. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
carry on a minute.
Sorry.
No, I was saying we'll I'll get in, I want to get into politics in a minute because that's obviously with us with America and stuff like that. I mean, we'll go into it now.
Sure.
It seems unstable to me. It seems like I've never been really clued up on American politics until kind of 2016 era, 2015, 2016 when I really got into it. But what I can I've seen it from across the pond, as you say, like from the UK perspective. But how does it feel in America at the moment in compared to years before? What's really the feeling?
Well, remember, I'm only 18, so
Yeah,
my view on politics and my view on the world, it's a little naive. So I can't be making claims, and people will be like, "Oh, what are your thoughts on this?" or "Who do you support?" and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm uneducated in the political sense, where I
yeah,
can't tell you what I believe because I don't want to influence you in the wrong way. But from what I can tell, I don't think our country is going in a good direction. It seems like we're supporting some countries and wars that we shouldn't be supporting. I believe that we're too focused on the rest of the world. I think we need to be more focused on ourselves and um, worried about our own political state and our own economic state. And so far, I'm not seeing a lot of help in that regard.
yeah,
But yeah, as for our politicians, I think Trump personally was for America. And I don't know too much about everything, so I can't be stating
yeah.
everything. But he seemed like he was for America, and I hope that we can have another president for America.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
so is Trump what age can you vote in America?
I can vote this year, but
So yeah, is that something you're gonna do?
yeah, my parents definitely want me to vote,
Yeah.
but now I'm going to vote. Originally, it was something that I was like, well, I just don't care. To me, it's kind of that thing that doesn't matter too much, but I guess they want me to exercise the right that I have.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll vote.
So what's the overall opinion in because in the UK, um, obviously the one part I don't know if you're well into UK politics, but it's pretty much the equivalent of the Democrats is Labour really, and the equivalent of the Republicans is Conservatives. And if
Yeah.
you speak to the majority of people, I've always found, especially amongst my age group, if you speak and say, I voted for Conservatives, you're very much looked frowned upon and looked at funny and it's obviously Labour won the last vote, but for 14 years the Conservatives were in power. They were in charge and permanently. I mean, I think the vote before the last one was pretty much a landslide, and Conservatives won. But if you speak to people on the street, they're very much against them. So is that I feel like is it kind of similar in America? I feel like a lot of people are against Trump. Whereas I mean, obviously, last time Biden was elected, but before that, it seemed like Trump was so unpopular in 2016, yet got in. Did you think the liberal Democrats are just use the voice more and speak more and more louder about it? What's the split?
Okay, so from what I can tell, the media in America is very biased. And I think that's the reason why it looked like Trump was so hated, was because the media was all portraying this hateful stuff that he was doing and all the negative about him. Now, I'm in Georgia, so I'm in more of the southern parts. And I don't
Yeah.
know if you know this about America, but South is typically more conservative.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people I talk to, a lot of the people I meet, they're for conservative leaders. But my personal opinion is I think there's too much hate on either side. It's one nation under God, right? We're supposed to
Yeah.
be together. It's not supposed to be an individual civil war here. We're supposed
Yeah.
to be working together regardless of who's in charge. And we should be putting America first. And I don't think that's happening right now. So that's my own personal view, though. From the people I'm around, it seems like more conservative, but on the media, it seems more democratic.
Yeah.
Guess
Well,
it
it's
all
the exact same in the UK. Exact same in the UK with the way things that Labour do are swept under the rug, and the way that the Conservative Party are just bombarded with things. When I'm not saying that either party's perfect, but there is definitely that bias in the UK.
Yeah.
What was the feeling when, obviously, I felt the shockwaves of the assassination attempt. I was in Romania at the time, I think. Oh no, sorry, I wasn't. I was in the UK, but I wasn't at home. But I felt the shockwaves of that all over the news. It came up all over my feed. What was the feeling in America when that happened? Obviously, it'll have been all over the news. But how did people react?
Yeah. I mean, let me be clear. I'm not too into politics. I don't get into it so much, but yes, that was a massive thing. It was almost as though we were expected to see another JFK event.
Yeah,
And the fact that he wasn't, and he stood there with his fist up, and you kind of felt that American pride, It's like,
yeah,
man, that's a leader I could stand by. Like that was cool. Doesn't matter if they always say, like, oh, he's for the billionaires and all that. And my counter argument to that, like, they're like, Kamala's for the people and Trump's for his billionaire friends. I'm like, Kamala's a multi-millionaire as well. What do you mean? Like,
yeah.
really? But all I know is under Trump, the gas prices were a lot lower. So
I do not trust Kamala Harris in the slightest. When you look at someone and you ever look at someone and just there's something about them and you just don't trust them, and you can tell. I've got that with her, and this is again someone from the UK. I look at her and just do not trust her as far as I could throw. Really, really don't.
yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about the whole thing. She seems to be controlled, if I can say that. She seems like she has a script that she's going from.
Yeah. She
But
seems false to me. She seems really, really false. And
yeah,
I like how you said that moment at that rally when obviously that assassination attempt failed, and it's just thank God it failed.
yeah.
When he raised his fist and the American flag came up, I think that photo is going to be iconic for a very, very long time. I think that is going to be very,
Yeah.
and I think Trump will be remembered for a long time. Do you think that obviously what Trump's saying is it's over for America if he's isn't elected? Do you think that, or do you think it'll just kind of all be the same?
I mean, I think for the average American, it's going to be the same, at least for a while.
Yeah,
But America as a whole, I think we're shifting. The idea, like, everybody's for America. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, doesn't matter. You're for America if you're here. That's kind of disappeared. We don't have that patriarch.
patriotism.
Yeah, patriotism. We don't really have that anymore. And doesn't feel like that. But I think either way, whoever wins, our lives are going to be relatively the same.
Yeah.
One side may be a little more upset than the other, but life's going to go on. You're still going to go to your job. You're still going to be working. I'm still going to be posting my videos. Gas may be a little higher, but life goes on.
I know. It's obviously in your videos you're always driving about. You've got a Honda. What Honda is it? I've only ever seen the steering wheel, but
yeah,
I'm a complete. I love cars, so
it's the Honda Accord. It used to be my parents, and then it was funny. I was talking to my parents because I spent so much money over the summer.
Yeah,
I was talking to them. I was like, if I had saved all my money, I could have probably bought like a decently nice car.
yeah,
But yeah, it's the Honda Accord. It gets me from point A to B, so
yeah.
I don't need to upgrade right now. And
How's
yeah,
insurance over there? Is it because over here the reason I can't get the car I like is because or a car I
yeah.
like better is because of the insurance. It's
Well, I'll
like
tell you what, it's not as bad when I'm driving a Honda. But
no,
if I was
yeah,
going to be driving as a male, a young teenage male,
yeah.
I was going to be driving a sports car, yeah, the insurance would be crazy.
Well,
But
that's
yeah,
what I mean.
right now it's got to be a few hundred. I don't exactly know offhand, but
Few hundred a
it's
year.
yeah for the year. I think
That
it's under 1,000.
£3 for me for a Mazda. £3,000. It's just insane, and that's the reason I'm driving it. I'd save
Wow,
honestly. I'd get like a second-hand Porsche or something, cheap one if I could insure it. But it's just outrageous over here. So
goodness. Yeah, I can almost guarantee it's not that bad for me.
yeah, material things, cat.
And
Go on.
again, I'm on my parents' insurance, so I think that
Yeah,
helps.
yeah, it does help. It does help. Yeah. So material things, cars, anything like that, you don't seem too materialistic. Is that something that you're interested in, or is it just you want the money just to create a legacy and do what you want to do?
I'd say I'm semi-materialistic. I mean, I have a couple watches over there that I like, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, over the summer, if I had not hung out with my friends, if I didn't spend any money, if I didn't drive everywhere, I could have probably bought a nice car. But I
Yeah,
think the memories and the friendships and kind of
yeah,
just the experiences are more important to me. My whole goal, and I have this goal of getting a Ferrari,
yeah.
not sure when, but I'm working extremely hard. But
Same
it's
here.
that goal that I can look at and be like, all right, here's where I want to end up. I want to be driving this Ferrari. Now I know where to work towards. So it's not necessarily that I want to be driving a Ferrari. It's the idea that if I can afford a Ferrari outright in cash, I've made it. So that's my goal.
Yeah,
Realistically, I I kind of just want a little beach house and I kind of just want to be on the beach and just kind of be able to relax and chill there.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, we're all going to die. We're not carrying anything with us. So is it
yeah,
really going to be that important to get a Ferrari or to get that nice car or to have that watch that you really like or to have all the materialistic things? Not really,
yeah,
but I think you can enjoy it in the moment and while you're on earth. But realistically, the one thing to me that truly matters is just building my relationship with God and really trying to emphasize that to people and to share the gospel because
yeah,
someday I'm going to be gone.
yeah.
And what I leave behind is really what's going to matter. So,
Yeah, so that's another thing I was gonna bring up. Obviously, I've seen in your videos you go to church and you talk about God a lot.
yeah.
Have you always been Christian? Have you always believed in God? Have you always
Yeah.
been that way?
Yeah. So, the reason I go to church originated from my parents.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's how most religious beliefs start. You
yeah,
see it from your parents or you see someone else and then you start. But
yeah,
yeah, it's my own faith now. It's something that I grew up with. I went to a Christian school, so I was taught this from a young age, and it's not something I enjoy. I don't like waking up early, especially when I'm going off of 2 hours of sleep to get to church. It's very difficult for me, but it's more of that commitment that I have this faith. This is my belief. I'm going to show respect to this belief. And I guess the community that you get there is nice. I also, after this podcast, I'm going to a small church gathering.
yeah,
And I like those a lot better than church because, as I said before, I don't like being told what to do. I don't like people talking to me directly and saying this and this and this.
yeah,
And of course, a service isn't quite like that, but I don't like being schooled. I don't like sitting there and being like, here's the lesson. Da, 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 da. It's something that I really can't focus on well. It
yeah,
doesn't hit home. So, church gatherings to me, they're not fun. They're not enjoyable. It's not something I love to do, but it's something that I'm told to do. It's out of respect to the faith and the beliefs and the relationship with Christ that I have. I go. So yeah, it's something I do.
yeah. Well, but I mean, when I was a kid, I became Christian off my own back, and I've started to believe in God. Just off it, it just came about for some reason. I was never told to. I was never, I didn't go to a Christian school. I didn't have family members that kind of took me to church or anything like that. Obviously, we went the odd time on Christmas Eve and stuff like that. But I just kind of I just started to believe in God and started to, relate to Christianity. And it was something that wasn't really, no one related to me with that. You know what I mean? It's quite rare for I was, 12, 13, whatever, and believed in God and thought about it a lot. And a lot of people just didn't, that wasn't in anyone else's mind. Is it like that in America? Is it like that where you are? Are you quite unique in that sense? Or is there a lot of people that are religious?
Yeah, a lot of people, especially in the South, are religious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that's quite common. A lot of people have this faith in Christ. So it's not like I'm standing out of the norm.
Yeah.
I'm pretty in the norm right here. A lot of people go to church. A lot of people, even if they're not Christian, they can claim they're Christian, but if they're not like traditionally, like they don't have that relationship with Christ, it's something that you still do.
Yeah.
It's starting to fade a little bit as we're kind of coming out of a Christian based nation. We're kind of switching over into more sinful and evil. It's basically like the Roman Empire at this point. We're just kind of falling from the inside. But yeah, no, it's something that's I guess you could claim a tradition.
Yeah. So that obviously you mentioned the fact that you're in the South and that's highly religious. And places like Miami and LA and Vegas, are they completely the other way now?
I've never been to Miami, Vegas. I've never been there, but from what I see on the internet, it doesn't seem like a very, very holy place.
Yeah.
It's I think a lot of people who are wealthy and they've made their money themselves tend to move to those places.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is if you've made all your money yourself and you've kind of done all this hard work and now you're reaping the success, it's very easy to lose faith in God and to be like, well, I did this myself, so it's all me.
Yeah.
Like even the small success that I'm seeing on Instagram and YouTube and starting to grow that, I'm starting to get those thoughts and I have to like manually switch my brain. Be like, no, God placed me in this position where I have the opportunities to record. I have this mindset. God created me in the first place. So who am I to claim that this was on all me?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, they lose that faith and then, they go down the hedonistic path. And I think a lot of that just ends up in the major cities. So
do you want to stay in the South? Do you want to stay in Georgia? Or as you meet more people, create more opportunities for yourself and make more money, would you be tempted to go to not necessarily LA or anywhere like that, but New York or Washington or somewhere, one of the big cities to kind of really, really then go through it in life?
Definitely not one of the big cities. Not a city guy. What I would love to do, and this is something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I think I'll eventually be able to start doing this, but I want to start traveling.
Yeah.
And I want to take like a year or at least a few months where I'm not living any specific place. I'm just kind of living in hotels and kind of just traveling around the United States to begin with.
Yeah.
But where I'd like to end up, like I said, I want a small little beach house. And that would probably be in Florida or somewhere along the coast. And my dream is to have a lake house, but this lake house, I want other people who are business minded like me and content minded and just working all the time to be living there. And if I can eventually get to that point, and when I eventually get to that point and I have people living there and we're all working together, I think we could really like maximize just business and productivity and working out and building that community amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, for a while, I want to be traveling, kind of just living on the go. And then eventually I want to have like 2 settled down places.
Yeah.
One to kind of chill by myself, a 1-bedroom kind of surf shack, and then a nice big lake house where I can have my friends live there too.
Well, I really, really do relate and admire that mindset of permanent, like you said, you've mentioned it a few times, wanting a permanent workload, permanent things to conquer, permanent. I'm very much like that. I want to wait. I don't envision myself ever wanting. And like I said, I'm 19. I don't know. You know, you don't know how you feel in the future. And a lot of people say to me, yeah, you won't feel like that when you're 40, 50, 60, whatever. But I don't envision myself ever wanting to just stop and say, yeah, that's enough. I want to permanent.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, look at Trump. He's 78 and
he's still going. He's already...
What's he worth? 7-8 billion quid of dollars. He
don't need the money. He's just doing it to conquer.
He could have stopped when he was my age. He could have stopped when he was 25, but he carried on and on and on and on and went on The Apprentice and did it. And then, you know, and there was times he was going to run and then dropped out and thought, and eventually he's president. Then obviously Joe Biden comes in and he goes through it again, gets shot, and he's still going through it. And that's something I really admire. I love Elon Musk, and he's like that. Is there a point where you'd ever stop, or is there a point where you just permanently do you just want to maximize your entire existence?
Well, eventually, I'd like to find a wife and have a family, but I don't want to find that until I'm older.
Yeah.
I think the best time to start a family, for me at least, would be in my 30s.
Yeah, same here.
Once I've built myself up.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would stop me from wanting to work.
No.
My end goal, realistically, there's no end goal. It's
continuous, isn't it?
That's
the way I feel.
I can't see like the end specifically. Okay, you could claim like, yo, I reached 100,000 followers, and it's like, that's nothing. Like, you understand that? I didn't get any satisfaction from that.
Yeah.
Which I guess maybe it's, I don't know. It's weird, but I reached that goal and I was like, okay, well, now let's maximize. Let's build it more.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever going to be an endpoint. So
I'm the same. I don't kind of, it'll sound funny this, but I don't, for happiness and contentment isn't something I really think about. It's not really something I consider. I don't wake up and think I want to be happy or I want to be this. I never, you know, that old saying, stop and smell the roses. I can't do it. I can't sit and wait and think, oh, I've achieved that now. Let's have a night off. I'm permanently like that and thinking that. And I think that is ultimately what spurs you on and what creates. I think you hear people who say, I want to be successful so I can go and sit on the beach and that's it. And I think that's the reason these people don't make it. I think the people that make it are the people that never ever stop.
Yeah. No, even when I say like I want that beach house, that's for like a couple of weeks out of the year if I need that break. But realistically, I want that lake house with the friends just to keep going, to keep attacking. And currently, right now, when I'm not doing something, when I'm not trying to get through my to-do list, or I'm not hanging out with friends and distracting my mind, and even when I'm hanging out with them, I'm on my phone a lot, or I'm on my computer. I'm not sure if you see that in the videos, but I bring that computer everywhere.
Yeah.
I just don't record it. But I'm starting to get like anxiety when I'm not working, and when like I'm just sitting there and I'm like, there's stuff to do. I need to get it done.
I'm the same.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, I can keep that, and I want to keep that because I know it's driving me forwards.
Yeah.
People ask like, "Oh, where do you get this motivation to be able to post every single day?" I'm like, bro, I'm gonna feel so sad and depressed if I miss a day. I'm gonna be so angry at myself. You don't understand. But yeah, hopefully, I can keep that motivation, that determination, and that grind. But we'll see.
So what are you thinking specifically? Obviously, you're doing the daily content at the minute, which is something I really, really admire. I feel like you're kind of a shorter version or shorter format content version of what Logan Paul was back in the day when he just filmed every single thing. Like that's what kind of not you personally.
What did Logan Paul
but that do? Kind of when he just filmed his entire day.
Is that what he did?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he did. That was when he was first on YouTube. He was just blogging every day. He was literally 365 days a year filmed his life. It was like something that had never been done before. And I think now, obviously, shorter format content like TikTok, Instagram are more popular, and you capitalizing on that is obviously what's doing really well for you. But like I said, you're doing that at the moment. Where do you where's your goal from that? Say you do the 1,000, you get to your 1,000th day. What is it you want to go into? Is it purely do you just want to grow your social media and do it that way, or is there any other plans you've got?
I think if I can get monetized and start getting paid for making videos, that would be my ultimate goal. Because I could record everything and then they would give me more time to hire other people and be like, all right,
Yeah.
here's my content. You edit the weeklies, post that. I can do my dailies. Doesn't matter if I'm still doing that. And then I'd be able to focus on other stuff and building out that brand of WTM Nation.
Yeah.
The idea of building a brand on myself is kind of what I'm working towards.
Yeah.
And just, I don't exactly know where this is going to end up. Right now, I'm working on a project that's, it's, what is it, a mentorship program for people interested in doing what I do. But it's more of just like building out the WTM brand and just seeing where God takes me in this. There's no exact goal after I finish the 1,000-day vlog challenge. That is just something to keep me going.
Yeah.
Once I do that, I'm probably still going to do daily videos, unless if I'm making millions a day, then I don't see why I would stop. So
yeah. Well, I noticed obviously on the first daily vlogs you were saying I'm going to do this until I get to 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
And obviously you then surpassed that. And is that when you then think, right, I'll do 1,000 days?
Yeah, because I reached 10,000 followers. Like once I made that goal, I reached that way quicker than I thought I was going to reach it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't want to stop. This is something like the reason I started. I said this just to keep myself doing something productive every single day. So the idea of me just stopping after 10,000 followers kind of didn't occur to me. I was like, well, I just want to keep going. And so I'm sure that'll happen once I hit the 1,000-day vlog challenge, and then I'll make another challenge and keep going.
Do you struggle at any point do you wake up some days and think there's nothing to film? You feel like you're forcing it sometimes? Because to film every single day relentlessly, surely it must get difficult. Is there any time you think, today's not the day, I can't, it's raining outside, there's nothing going on, what am I going to do?
I think that's the mentality of someone who isn't going to make it.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh, well, I'm not doing anything. No, you're doing something. You're getting out of bed.
Yeah.
Even if you sit there and play video games all day, you can get multiple angles of that. You can record different shots.
Yeah.
I've been sick, I think twice, maybe 3 times throughout this entire journey so far, where I've been like laying in bed, sick out of my mind for a couple days straight. And I still record.
Yeah.
So that to me proves that even if you think you're not doing anything, no, you're still doing something. You can record. Because I was laying in bed, but every time that I would get up, use the bathroom or take a shower if I did, or roll over, like I was recording everything. Those videos sucked, in my opinion, but like I still posted them.
But you look back at it, don't you? And when you're in your 30s, when you're in your 30s and whatever, and you have to show them all of that footage and to document your entire life, I think it's one of the greatest. I think it's one of the best things you do, and that's why I got into YouTube at such an early age.
Yeah.
You know, I can look back now at videos I've got when I was 14, 15. And, I'm going to repost some of them just to show I've been doing this for such a long time. Is that is the memory side of it something that really that inspires you to do it?
I think so. I like the idea that once I reach this 1,000-day vlog challenge completion, I'll be able to look back and I'll see my entire life just changing over that. Because I guarantee you where I am right now is going to be vastly different from where I'm at when I'm almost 22, when I complete this challenge. And
so how long have you got? So you've done almost a year. So that's
I've got
2.5 years. Is it
600 and what am I at today? This is 30, so 670 left. And if I include today, it's 671, I think.
Yes. So what's that? Just under 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're carrying on. You kind of stuff. I mean, today, for example, what's the vlogging telling today? Is it have you spoke about this podcast, or have you spoke about going to the church thing later on? How do you how much filming goes into it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting a few clips, even not on camera, but like I have my phone right here. I'll just set it up and I'll get some footage. But yeah, it's not something that I really structure. Even in the voiceovers, I'm not necessarily talking about what I'm doing all the time.
Yeah,
last night,
I've noticed that.
Yeah, the videos themselves, they're more of a background, keep you entertained thing.
Yeah,
and I always start with a hook, something that like engages the viewer, and then I'll state like, oh, this is the 1,000-day vlog challenge, and then I'll talk about whatever I want. Sometimes it's about the video, possibly tonight. I never know what I'm going to say, but possibly tonight I'll say like, oh, and I did this podcast, or I'll come up with something a little better than that. But there's never an exact, I'm going to say this, so I'm
Yeah.
going to record this. It's more of, I'm just going to record everything and see what works.
I think some of you, obviously, you mentioned the traveling thing.
Yeah.
I think that would be brilliant for your content. If you were going,
Exactly.
you know, round wherever, Europe, America, Alaska, Canada, even I've never done it. I've done a lot of Europe, but I've never left Europe, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But something I want to do is Central America. Start in Mexico and get all the way down to Panama, Colombia, that, you know, and end up down there. Would you be interested in really venturing out to them, to countries that not many people go to? Because I feel like that would really catapult you into a big realm on social media.
Well, I'm not sure I want to risk my life. I don't know. The idea of going to Colombia and Mexico, I'm sure I wouldn't do anything stupid, but
Yeah.
knowing me, I don't know if I'd feel safe there. But yeah, venturing to different countries is something I've definitely thought of. I'd love to go to Europe. I'd love to, I don't know if I'd want to check out Asia as much, but that's something. Europe is kind of my ideal of, I'd love to be able to travel there and
Yeah.
document that whole thing. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
A lot of people I've traveled around Europe. I went to Eastern Europe. I went to Ukraine in August.
Really? How was that?
It was all right, you know, it was good. I went from Romania all the way up through Slovakia, Hungary, into Poland, then into Ukraine. And what I found when I got there was it felt like I'd crossed into the east of the world.
Really?
I got there, there was no signal on my phone, or that I couldn't get access to like mobile data or anything like that to find where I was staying. It was like, I think it was late afternoon when I got there. And I really felt like I've been all around Europe, and I've always kind of felt connected to home, or connected to the Western world. And when I got to Ukraine, that shut off. It was because the letters are different in the language, so it's you can kind of gauge. If you saw something in Spanish, you can kind of gauge what it says.
Yeah,
the same letters, and you can kind of gauge the language. You can kind of understand kind of what people are saying about you. Whereas Ukrainian is different letters. It sounds completely different. You don't know what anyone's saying. Everyone's kind of, because I look pretty different in normal times. You know what I mean? When I'm in the UK, people are looking at me. I could sense, thinking, "Who's this?" I got stopped at the border, not stopped, but questioned on the way out. But yeah, that day when I got to Ukraine and I couldn't understand anything. I was just walking on the city trying to find a McDonald's, thinking I need to find Wi-Fi because. And it turned out really, really, it felt very, very safe when I got there. It felt like everyone kind of knew they were all Ukrainian together. They're all kind of, obviously, we're in a war at the minute. Everyone's singing in the street. There was a curfew. You couldn't go out and stuff like that. I mean, would you be interested in that? Would you ever go to somewhere and really want to experience a really vastly different type of life?
I can't say that interests me that much. Like maybe briefly kind of see their way of life, but it doesn't interest me that much. If I never see that in my entire life, I don't think I'd care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going over to Europe it's not even just to see how Europeans live and all that. It's more of just to travel and to see the views and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, I've spoke to, like I said, when I was traveling, that's what I was going on to. I've spoke to a lot of American travelers, and a lot of them have been really disappointed by you. I don't want to put you off, but a lot have been really. I've spoke to American people in Paris, in Madrid, and I think a lot of people are. You get to Europe, and obviously there's these really nice sites like the Eiffel Tower, like places in Italy, places in Switzerland. But I think people find a lot of it is. I don't know if it's the same in America, but a lot of it's kind of the outskirts just don't, and it's very much, but the place they end up staying, the hostels they end up staying, they think, whoa, like, all right, there's the Eiffel Tower, or there's this and there's that, and there's really glamorous things, but the rest of it is there's a big downgrade from these city centres that look amazing. So you go out and it's like that. I don't want to put you off it. I'm sure, honestly, come to Europe. It is nice, and I think you'd really enjoy it.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think I'd want to go over to Europe if I don't have a super fast car to actually experience it with,
Yeah,
because I wouldn't be going there just to travel to the cities. I'd be going there to drive and
yeah,
to go on one of those car rallies and to really experience the views and kind of the, as you put it, the lower life
yeah,
stuff that you don't typically see online and all that. But yeah, so
yeah.
if I can get my hands on that Ferrari, I'm coming over there and we're gonna be blasting those roads off.
Which
So,
Ferrari are you after? Have you
pardon?
thought what Ferrari would you if it drops in your bank account now you could afford any of them?
Well, I say Ferrari. Realistically, I want the Aston Martin DBS and McLaren 720.
Yeah,
But a Ferrari's that nice, easy picture that everybody can see and
yeah,
visualize. Oh, that red Ferrari on the drive.
yeah. I'm glad you
Maybe
said
a
McLaren.
Spider. I don't know.
Yeah,
Ferrari isn't actually my favorite, but it's kind of just that thing that I say.
I'm glad you mentioned McLarens because they are the absolute. If you said one thing now you can get, and it will be one of them. I just love them. Have you
Now,
always
I
been? Have you always been
what?
into cars?
Not really. I mean, as you can tell, I'm driving a Honda. I don't care that much. I'm not
Yeah,
saving up my money to buy a nice car. It's
yeah,
not really my priority. But no, like if I have the cash on hand, I'm going to buy a nice car because I just want to go fast and I want to show everybody like, look what I have. But yeah, before I get my hands on a McLaren, I consider myself a great driver. At least I'm reckless, but I'm a good driver. But I think a McLaren would be too much for me right now.
what's
I
the
need some
speed?
training.
What's the speed limits like over there? Are they strict? What's it like?
Yeah, so typically around 65 for the highways or the freeways, and normal roads 45 to 50.
Yeah,
You
it's the
can't go
same
that.
because you go off kilometers, don't you?
I go off what?
Do you go
No,
off
no, no, miles per hour.
miles per hour?
So yeah,
Yeah. So all right, was a lot. We have 30. We're 30 miles an hour in England.
miles per hour.
30 miles an hour. That's the general. There's 50 roads, there's 40 roads, there's 60 roads, and then the motorway 70. But it's
Okay, I
30
think
miles an
our
hour.
average is around 45. We have 35, but it's typically in like a school zone or
Yeah.
on like a back
that,
road.
yeah, a back road, for example, will be 20 mile an hour. Mate, there's 10 mile an hour streets over here now. And
Goodness.
in Wales, they've made it every single road, every single normal road is 20 mile an hour. And
Wow.
it's like you're getting overtaken by cyclists at that point. And that's what I mean. That's why the difference is so vast between the UK and America. And I kind of have. I've always wished I could have spent maybe a year or two growing up in America just to kind of. I just feel like it seems like a lot happier, a lot more accepting, and everyone's kind of seems to be friends. Or is that a bit of an illusion?
I've actually heard this. Yeah, I think in America everybody's a lot more chill. We're a lot friendly. You'll see people waving to cars on the road.
Really?
I'm sure that doesn't happen in the UK. I've heard that in the UK, like everybody's more to themselves.
Yeah,
they don't want to see everybody else.
yeah,
And I get that. I understand that. But yeah, in America, it's more of like, hey, we're all Americans. We're all chill. I
yeah.
guess it's kind of just instilled in us where we're going to be friendly no matter what.
Yeah, well,
So
and that's a good thing, and that's one thing. Obviously, you don't want to lose that as a nation, as a country. That's completely gone in the UK now. That's totally the idea of like we're all friends, we're all living in the same country. It's just completely gone out the window. I mean, someone I know went to, I think he went to San Francisco or somewhere like that, and he said he were walking across the street and there was some construction workers, some builders, and he was saying, "Have a great day, folks. Have a great day. Have a great day, everyone." And does that happen? Is that a regular thing?
I'm sure you'll see people doing that here. I mean, like I said, just the casual wave to people passing by and whatnot. But yeah, I'm sure that's a thing. You can kind of, I'm trying to think of specific examples. I guess the reason why I'm able to get a large group like this that I have is just
Yeah,
because we're always friendly to each other. Hey, you want to come over? Hey, we're cliff jumping. Come over.
yeah.
So it's
No,
kind of
that
just
wouldn't
that
work in the
friendly
UK.
environment.
The UK's kind of, like you said, cliff jumping. If I were there cliff jumping with a group of people, and there was another one there, it's almost aggression between them. Not honestly, everyone's looking over like that, kind of.
Really?
It's really, really different. It's kind of, and I look, it's my culture. England, the UK is where I've grown up, so I'll always love it. But there is a kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word, just almost like a disapproving atmosphere in England. Everyone's kind of stood there looking at each other like that. Like that, there's no sympathy for anyone. So if someone crashes the car, everyone's just kind of like smirking at them. Like no one goes over and says, "Are you all right?" or anything like that. It's really, really weird, and that's why I think if someone was to, I've done like vlogs and stuff like that, and it is a lot more difficult to get that, even the support on social media. I do social media things. People just laugh at me for it. People think, "Why is he doing that?" It's just so out of the ordinary. Do you get any hate, or do you get a lot more support than hate for your stuff?
Oh, I get a lot more support than hate.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I kind of like how you're saying that. Like everybody just laughs at each other.
honestly,
Like, oh, you just crashed the car, loser.
yeah, yeah.
I like that, and sometimes I'm like that, but no, it's not the norm here, so I can't be like that a lot.
Yeah.
But that idea that everybody just hates on you for making social media content, I understand why people say like, oh, you got to just keep going. You hear my dog in the background?
Yeah.
Trying to say hi. No, she's doesn't matter. But yeah, I kind of like that that mentality of just hating everybody.
Yeah, it's funny.
But,
I mean, it's like I said, I've always wanted to kind of go to America for a bit, and I'm sure I will do at some point because I just turn up like, "Hey, how you doing? You out?" And I feel like I'd probably just like get on with everyone. I do that.
Everybody's gonna love it though.
I go out in the UK and I'm like, "Oh, how you doing? Yeah, good to see you." And they're like, "Oh, this guy's like he's a lunatic. This guy, like, he's funny." Like if I went around filming like you did, I would get more abuse than people. Honestly, it's and I don't care. That's why I do it. I'll just
exactly.
I'll do podcasts. I'll make music. I'll do everything. Everyone's like, "What are you doing?" Like, but I just love it. I just love the kind of just the not caring aspects, and I feel like you need that to drive to that success. Like you want to do, like I want to do, like Trump wanted to do, like Elon Musk. Anyone you speak to, you just need that not caring attitude, and I feel like you've got that. You know,
it's something that you definitely have to build in yourself.
Yeah.
Because when I just pull out my phone and I start recording, I've gotten over that fear of, oh, what are people going to think? Because now I just don't care. Like if someone's on the video and they want to be removed, they can tell me.
Yeah.
But unless they don't say anything, who cares?
Yeah, I've just started to kind of just totally embody and embrace that kind of like mental like way of life. Like I'll walk down. I remember walking down the street, like wherever in Europe or whatever, and I'd be walking along, like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing whatever today. I've woke up, I'm in Romania," and there'd be like a group of lads there looking at me like, "Oh, yeah, lads, how you doing?" Like just like let on to them, like, "Oh, you're right." They just like, and then they think you're all right. You know what I mean? They think, "Oh, he's a bit mad," but you know, he's all right, and you just got to kind of get on with it. But one thing I do want to do, and I was going to mention this because I've been looking at I've been traveling around Europe and all these places trying to make things happen. And it's looking like I'm going to be not stuck in the UK, but in the UK doing certain things, living a semi-normal life. I've never lived a normal life, but a semi-normal life doing odd, jobs and bits of work. And I thought, and I'm now thinking, how can I create content out of it like you said you did a year ago? And I am genuinely now thinking of, I don't know how long I'm going to do it. Obviously, you said you've got 600 days left. I'm thinking of kind of doing a similar thing and starting doing because I've done the daily vlogs that are long format, and I want to do some short.
Do it,
I really, really do want to do it. I might do it until New Year. I might say I'll do it until New Year, see how it goes. But I mean, I'm sure you could give me some tips and some kind of advice on how it work. How do you really make it work every single day?
Well, okay. Number one, a lot of the time people don't know I'm recording. Because when I'm doing this, right, it looks like I'm just typing.
Yeah.
But realistically, I'm actually just recording.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they won't notice if you're doing daily vlogs. And it's not the videos that have to be fun. Obviously, cliff jumping off cliffs, that all makes it super engaging and fun. But no, for you, if you want to show off the United Kingdom lifestyle, just record it. And then at night, go home, edit it on CapCut or whatever you edit on, and do a voiceover and then make it more engaging. The voiceover gives it personality. Because for me, I've thought about this a lot. I don't want to do a voiceover. This video is perfect without the voice. And then I'll think, but no one's going to engage. No one's going to
Yeah.
watch it. They're not going to get anything from it. So I have to
Yeah.
do the voiceover. But yeah, you can have a relatively boring video and then the voiceover will make it fun. As for getting big and whatnot, just consistency. I'm sure you know that, but consistency is your best friend. If you show up every day, if you keep putting in the work and never miss a day, bro, you're going to make it. It doesn't matter how long, just eventually you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, consistency is my biggest thing, my biggest tip for anybody. And if you want to blow up faster than I did, do your research. Every single video you do, look at other people, look at yours. How could I make it better?
Yeah.
What engagement did well? How did I start the video? What did I use? What kind of fonts? Everything. But
yeah. Well, I am going to start something. And in fairness, I always kind of I looked at your videos and thought, why am I not doing this? Why am I not just documenting everything? Because I'll get up and go to work and find jobs and graft and make money and put it into studio time, put it into a new car. I want to do that. Put it into, but a lot of the time when I'm in the UK, I'll go abroad and start making content, but I won't make as much when I'm back. And I think a lot of people like yourself, have seen the kind of the American version of it, whatever. And I just think the UK version could be quite interesting. I think it'd be quite.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know if it'd take off in America, because, like I said, it's a very different culture. But I think my life specifically could be quite an interesting scope on how someone quite random in the UK lives a very random life.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I don't know if you've seen this on Instagram, Hub's Life. Have you seen that guy?
Who is it?
Hub's Life, HUB.
I might have seen it.
He does the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He was a big inspiration for me. And I actually started off my videos kind of in his format of just like the quiet, sad music and kind of just showing videos throughout the day with no voiceover. But I realized quickly that was not my style.
Yeah.
But he does an excellent job of showing the American lifestyle of someone who's graduated college and does the tradition. Yeah. And honestly, it's a pretty accurate depiction. It's kind of boring, kind of sad, but it's also melancholy and it's light. It's not that bad. So if you can find your exact style and showcase, this is the United Kingdom, bro. And like it doesn't matter, but just show your lifestyle. Doesn't matter if it's fun, happy, sad, whatever. Just make it yours and make it unique. And I think people would love to see that. Especially as you just said, like you have this unique style to life. You're not doing the traditional stuff. Me as well. And I think that's why people engage so well. So definitely.
Well, you know what? I'm going to start it this week. I've got something I'm doing tomorrow and then something different the next day. And then from there, I don't really know much what's happening. So I am going to start it this week. And obviously, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know what format I'm going to do. It might be completely different to yours. But that daily vlogging, and I'm on, I think, just under 2,000 followers at the minute on Instagram. So, that 10,000 followers thing could be a goal. I might, strive for that, or I might strive for a certain amount of days. I'll probably end up doing a year, and then
do it.
Get to a year again, and then you think, right, I'll get to the new year, and then it just keeps going and going and going, like yours has done. I spoke to. Have you seen Michael Hickey? He's living in his car and driving around North America. So I did. It's on my channel. I did a podcast with him and spoke to him about it. And his content's very similar to yours. He kind of does a voiceover, films bits of his day, and I think probably because I follow him, yours probably came up on the algorithm as similar. And then I spoke to you, and here we are. But it is definitely. I've watched him for a long time. Then I saw yours, and like I said, your content really did stand out to me. Like I said, that kind of American lifestyle. And that's why I brought you on, and that's why I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something similar, but a UK version, and I'll get started it this week. So I'll send it over to you, and you need.
Bro, please do. I'll help you promote it too if you want.
Yeah, definitely, awesome. I'd appreciate that. And
now, you mentioned like you don't know exactly the style, right? When I first started, I didn't know what I was going to make my videos like. I didn't know the style. The biggest problem people have is just starting. They don't know how to start. Doesn't matter if the style is good. It could be I'm watching my tongue. It could be the worst possible video you've ever created. Post it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as you're posting, that's all that matters, because then you have variables and you have stuff that you can look back on and be like, okay, Now I can improve and build off of it.
Yeah.
So don't try to make like the perfect video. Just something that you're proud of, something that you like, and then post it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've always done the long format vlog kind of things and then shorten them down and put them into clips and stuff like that. And that's what goes on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. But I am, like you said now, I'm excited now to get into that short format content. I mean, all over Christmas, I'll be doing stuff, and then going into the next year, and I've got, you know, a lot of stuff I want to do. So I think it'll be really good. And obviously, like I said, people like you, people like I saw them videos and thought, yeah, this is I can do something with this. But yeah, obviously we'll round it up again. I'd love to have you on the podcast again. I feel like there's a lot more we can talk about.
I'd love to, bro.
I'd love to. But one final question.
Yeah, for
overall,
sure.
when it's all finished, when it's all done, when you've created it all and done as much as you could possibly do, and you maybe you will, maybe you won't, but say you ran out of ideas and you've done everything you ever wanted to do, how do you hope it reflects you in life, and how do you want to be remembered? And that's a big question to ask you at 18, but where are you striving for really? What do you truly want to be known as?
I want to bring others to Christ because my faith is the foundation of my life. And even though I'm not a strong Christian myself, I struggle quite a lot. I'm a sinner. I fail all the time. If I can bring others to Christ and show them that lifestyle and what God has granted for me, I think that would be a wonderful thing to be remembered as. As for my personal self, I guess as a hard worker and someone who is dedicated, I want to leave a legacy that I can be proud of.
Yeah.
So
that's the best. That's the best. I kind of ask them questions a lot on my podcast, and that even to bring up your religion and God and to put it and explain it as that. I asked you, what do you want your legacy to be, and you've said and that shows that your goal and your aim is bigger than yourself, and I think that's absolutely vital. But yeah, I admire your content. I appreciate you coming on. It's been brilliant.
Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate this. This was fun.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.